An amazing story, one man's journey on exactly day 365. Meet Dave today on Recovery Monday.
You set me free, so I'll shake off these heavy chains and wipe away every stain. That I'm not who I used to be. I am redeemed.
It's Monday, the 28th day of October in the Lord's year 2013. I'm J. Michael McKoy, and this is Recovery Monday, brought to you by Powell CDC. Lila Stafford, are you the head of Unity Point worldwide yet?
In my head, but no one else's.
Okay. But you're one of the counselors at Powell, and we also have Annie Molden, who is here, who is also, did I say that right?
Yeah.
You have to get on the mic.
Kind of.
Well, I want to say it right.
Malden.
Malden.
Yes.
Like a dog would maul you.
How about like Carl Malden?
Malden. Okay. And Bob Montserrat, our cat in the hat watching the chat, our world famous Bob Montserrat, who last Monday was gone because he was the only person in the United States of America who was named Forensic Scientist of the Year. And he has this beautiful award, kind of like a Nobel Peace Prize around that he wears. Did you bring it with you?
It's out in the next room here.
So you could show it or show it to us if we wanted to.
I could.
Oh, I want to see it.
I want to see
It's
it too.
really cool. It's heavy.
Me too.
Really heavy. And our special guest today, we have been waiting for this day for 364 days. Dave Pastwa,
That's it.
which I'm told is Polish.
It is Polish.
See, I think you got to say it's French.
I
Pastwa.
like the Polish thing.
Do you?
Yeah, I love Polish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Polacks?
Polak's good.
Okay.
Polak jokes, no good.
No good?
No good.
Okay, you're like my wife. She doesn't like blonde jokes because she's blonde.
There you go.
And Dave is sitting here on the 28th day of October in the year 2013 because on the 28th day of October in the year 2012, he took his last drink, he used his last narcotic, and is that the day Jesus mugged you, or did that come a little farther down the road?
That came a little bit further down the road.
Okay. So we are going to talk to Dave Pastwa about what brought him here. His beautiful daughter, Alexis, who is 15, is going to join in with us a little bit later and share that unique story of what it's like to have a messed up dad to a sober dad, which is why we do it, right?
That's right.
I mean, if the truth be known, if it was up to us, even though we're supposed to say, I'm not doing this for anybody else, I'm doing this for me, inside, we're doing it for our kids.
Yes, we are.
So we're here for them.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So let's start out and just tell Dave's story. Where's home?
Home for me, where I grew up, was Chicago, Illinois.
All right.
And then I moved when I was 12, 13 years old down to Coral Springs, Florida.
Why?
Parents wanted to move. They
Okay.
had, my dad, he wasn't feeling well, and he decided that would be a better place for him health-wise.
Okay.
And my father bought an auto repair business, and so he was in auto repair, and that's what that's what our family business was, and we stayed down there, and for about 10 years. 10 years, my dad got sick. He ended up with cancer. He ended up dying. And, it was pretty tough. I want to say that was real tough for me. And I think that's where my addiction started. I always, did things, drank and did drugs when I was in high school and stuff like that. But, losing somebody that's so close to you, that's where it really hurt.
How old were you when your dad died?
I was 19 when my dad died.
And where are you in the sibling line?
I am number 2. I'm the middle.
Okay.
I have an older brother who's 59 years old. I have a sister who's 47 or 48. Sorry.
Were either your brother or your sister involved in drugs or alcohol?
A little bit, not like me though. It seemed like I was the I don't know how to say it, less fortunate one.
Well,
or fortunate
or
one,
the more fortunate
or
one,
more
depending on
fortunate
how
one
you wanna
now.
look at it.
Yeah, depending on how you look at it. Yeah.
Lila, was it you or somebody told me the other day that middle children are most likely to be alcoholics? You didn't say that to
No.
me? Somebody said that. Maybe it was just in a meeting. Somebody said that middle children are traditionally, when you sit in the rooms of the 12-step program and you ask people where they are, they're either an only or they're a middle.
Really?
Yeah, that's just what I heard. It doesn't mean to be true. I didn't hear it on Facebook, so there's a better opportunity it's true. So at 19, you're living in Sarasota, Florida.
Nope. Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's Florida.
Okay. You're living in Florida, and your father passes away.
Yep.
And what is your, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being where your usage was right before you quit, where was your usage at right after your father passed?
On a scale, it was probably about a 5 right there in the middle, you know.
Any OWIs?
Nope, never got an OWI.
Anything where you hadn't been fired from work or kicked out of school?
Not for that. No, not at all. I used during school. I mean, it was something that we did. It was that age that we grew up. I grew up in the 80s, late 70s, 80s, and in Florida, I mean, you see that there was all kinds of drugs then, and then everything was very easy to get, and using was just a part of life. You know, for me in high school, that's what it was.
All right. Think of somebody in senior high that didn't use or drink. Can you picture him? Can you name him? Don't name him, but can you?
Yeah.
All right. Tell me about that person. Were they a nerd? Were they a jock?
No,
Were they an outcast?
I don't want to say they didn't use. Maybe they used a little bit, but I see them now in their life, and their life is remarkable. They did a couple things different. They put God first in their life, and they didn't use anymore. They got married, they had children, and they're doing fine. They're doing awesome. And you go back and look at these people, and you don't realize this till you see them on Facebook, you know. And I didn't recognize that. And right now I can go. This person congratulated me today, you know.
Really.
And we're close. We're close friends. We were close friends in high school, but you never realize that you had close friends like that till you get clean. You never realize that. I never knew that. Now,
where was your relationship with God when you were a senior in high school? Non-existent?
At the bottom of the beer bottle and on the top of the mirror.
Okay. So no church.
Nope.
Did it stir within you that there was a creator?
Yeah, I always had a belief there was God. Okay. I always had that belief. I grew up as a Catholic. We had to go to church. We had to do communion. We had to do all these things that a good Catholic does. But you know, that was a part where I lived in Illinois till I got to be 13, 14, and then when we moved to Florida, it was non-existent. It's just like, because I never had my father and mother. My father sold cars for a living, and he was never home. And then, but then we got a relationship when we moved to Florida. We knew each other then, and we did things together. And then you realize that, wow, there is something missing. There's something missing in my life. And, you know, after my dad passed, you know, and I remember the day, because I remember praying to something in my shower, praying, going, please, God, take this man away, because he is sick. He is hurting. He's in pain. You know, he had cancer of the pancreas, and to die like that, it was a miserable death. It was a painful death. You know, he was a World War II vet, so he's seen some things, you know, but that pain that he had, 2 days later, he died.
Okay.
You know,
did you feel like God answered your prayers?
I did feel like God answered my prayers.
And you were happy about that?
And I was happy. I was happy that God did not have any more pain for him. And then I didn't know how he believed in his life. I didn't know if he believed in God. I didn't know these things about my dad, because I didn't know a lot about my dad. And that would be the only thing that I would love to learn more about is my dad.
Yeah. What does your mother say? Is she still living?
No, my mom passed away in 2007, and that's a part of my journey too. That when my mom passed away, after my dad passed, me and my mom got to be real close. We were buddies. I mean, she called me her buddy, and we did things together. You know, We never lived far apart from each other, and then we always lived together. When I moved out of my house with my first wife, and we only lived a mile or two away. And then she decided that she wanted to move up to northern Florida. She moved to northern Florida. We were 300 miles away. And then, me and my ex-wife, I can call her my ex-wife now because she is, for my first two children. But we got divorced, and then my mom drugged me back. Something about her, she that's when my addiction was getting on that scale that you had, Mac, that scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
It was about a 9 then.
Were you and your mom using and drinking together?
No, never.
No. Okay.
We'd maybe glasses of wine or something.
Okay.
We would, but I remember her coming down to Fort Lauderdale and coming to get me from Orlando, and she looked at me with those mother eyes that that the fear of God.
Right.
That was the fear of God. She says, "You got 5 days to get home," and she was not exaggerating. Okay. So on that fourth day and 6 hours left, I made it back to Orlando. And she saved me. She saved me there, and I don't know what it was, but she saved me that day.
Were the drugs and alcohol the core reason that your first marriage broke up?
One of the core reasons.
Okay.
One of them.
And so drugs and alcohol were a part of your life from age what to age what?
From, I would say, age 13, 14 to the age, to the age 49 and a couple months.
So 34 years.
Yeah.
You had 30. A 34-year career.
I had a run, yeah.
Drinking and drugging.
Yeah.
Now, I neither want to make you feel embarrassed nor do I want to lift you up, but how big of a drug person were you? I mean, cocaine, meth, shoot it in your needles in your skin.
No, I've done that before, but I've never did that like that. I was more alcohol, pills, methamphetamine, cocaine. Cocaine more later. I mean, when I was younger, methamphetamine.
Heroin?
Never.
Never? Okay, good.
Never.
I have a she for you. You said that your mother saved you. How did she save you? Just by getting you out of
she got me out of she knew I was broken. She saw that brokenness in me, and she knew that that if she wouldn't have came and got me, because I was her only boy, that lived close, if she wouldn't have came and got me and did them things that a mother and a father would do to help you, I don't know where I'd be right now. But I also,
Did she know anything about a 12-step program or anything, or she just
no?
loved you?
I had no idea there was a 12-step program till I was in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
She just knew I was broken.
Yeah,
and she just knew, and between her and my wife that I have now, they knew. Mm-hmm. They knew. I didn't use a lot when I first got married to the wife that I have now. This is. Back in 91 and we started dating in 89, 90, and we lived with my mom in Orlando because that's where when she saved me, she made me come up there. And and my wife Tina, she grabbed me and she's like, no, she even told me, she goes, the only reason I'm here is just to save you. You know that.
Aww.
Yeah. And
so, what year and why did you come to Iowa?
It was year 2000. We moved from, we lived in North Carolina a little bit, and me and my wife got separated, but we got together. We just needed a break. We were struggling a little bit, and Alexis was born, and Carly was she couldn't get into school down in Florida, and we were able to get her in school in North Carolina, and then we moved right back to Florida. We had a house in Orlando, and we had rented it out, and then the people just trashed it, so we kind of booted them out and moved back down into it. And we started with nothing again. We had pretty much nothing. And, I told my wife, I said, I'll go work for one of the big box stores. And I did. And they said after 6 months, if you want to move up, you got to move up. And I didn't know it was Sioux Falls, South Dakota in the middle of November. And I think it started snowing November 5th, and it didn't stop till sometime in April. And, and life was good right there. It was good.
All right, so good. We are at age 30 what now?
No, we're at age 39, 40.
39, all right.
40 somewhere.
And he has figured out the snows of the Midwest, but his drugging and drinking only got worse. It's Dave's 1-year sobriety birthday today, and
Amen.
we're celebrating with you here on KTIA, Iowa.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
A father who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation, to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
This is Dan Fry, host of A Rebels Cause Radio, and I'm here to ask you a question. Are you tired of being marketed a second-rate product at a first-rate price? Or perhaps more importantly, do you want to wear something that shows who you are, which is a Christian, but doesn't look silly or even worse, just theologically incorrect? I want to introduce you to Wrath and Grace Clothing. They're a company that wants to provide you with clothes that you actually like, prices you can afford, and most importantly, they offer a sound, biblical message that represents who you are as a Christian. From the message presented in the graphics to the fit and finish, they have made their company on first-rate designs and high-quality fabrics and inks, and offered at a price you can afford. Wrath and Grace Clothing. Their mission is to proclaim the wrath and the grace of a sovereign God, one shirt at a time. Go to wrathandgrace.com to check out all their designs. That's wrathandgrace.com.
If Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of America was your personal webmaster, Tom would filter out all bad debt emails. If Tom was your mailman, you'd never get any debt reduction junk mail. If Tom Coates was a lineman, he'd block any phone calls offering to reduce your credit card debt.
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America, and we're still your best choice for credit counseling. We're local, we're accountable, and we can do more. You make the call when the time's right for you.
When it comes to competition, there really is none for Consumer Credit of America.
Minutes after the hour on this 28th day of October in the Lord's year 2013. And 1 year ago today, 365 days ago today, Dave Pastwa decided that drugging and drinking was no longer his style, his way. Sick and tired of being sick and tired?
Sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Because you didn't get in trouble with the law.
No.
Your wife?
Well, I did, but that comes on in a little bit. I'll tell you about that.
Okay, all right. Well, but your wife was sticking by you, or was she going to throw your butt out too?
No, she pretty much stuck by me the whole time.
Okay. So you moved to Iowa in 2000 and what did you say? 4?
It was 2001. We moved to 2001. We moved from Sioux Falls to Iowa. I got promoted with the job that I was at, and then we moved here, and we bought a house, and we did some things, and my wife still works for the company that I worked for before. Okay. I won't mention who they are, things were going pretty good, and then I can't say the drinking and drugging got me fired from that job. I think just some personal issues. And then I went to work for another place. But then I went on my own. And I found that, I was doing all right for a little bit. And then, the characters I was hanging out with, the people, places, and things.
Playmates and playgrounds.
And playmates and playgrounds, thank you. They got worse. I found out that there's other drugs out there and drinking, and it just escalated. It escalated to a place I was comfortable. I was making a little bit of money, paying some bills, and I was just comfortable.
Would you be drinking and then once you were drunk, start in on the other drugs?
Or both.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Or both.
Were you?
I'm laughing, but it's not really funny. I mean, but
were you an end of the day user or an all day user?
It started to be a weekend user, and then end of the day user, and then end of everyday user, and then all of a sudden, you needed it to get up in the morning, and you needed
progressive disease.
It is progressive.
Yep. Only gets worse.
Yep.
Now, Lila, as a counselor, we don't want to make Dave feel bad, but this is a typical story, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Little time user, little alcohol, little drugs with buddies, couple bad things happen in life. It escalates a little bit, and then before you know it, the drug and or alcohol is controlling your entire life from the moment you wake up till the moment you wake up.
Yep.
I never thought that I would be that person. I thought I was a functioning addict. I did I did normal things that normal people did. I watched my kids grow up. But I look back now, I missed out on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And the missing out on the things is kind of it makes you mad. I can't go back. There's no way I can go back. I learned from my mistakes. I had, I have 365 days today, so I'm very blessed. I'm so blessed, and then I did a lot of things to get to this point. But the using, the using, it was difficult. I would say the last couple of years of my using got to be that point where I needed it to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I would spend time looking for it. And I can remember, this is what my wife told me when I was in recovery. She goes, I would put my hand on your heart and pray for you, that you would just come home. Just come home at night and just, be home and just be safe. And, I didn't know that because I was passed out, blacked out or passed out. I don't know where to go from there,
And there's no God. There's no Jesus.
There's God. There's God. There's God because.
But it's, oh God, help me find my drugs.
Oh God, help me find my drugs. But oh God, I seen my kids growing up through the Catholic Church, and I'd go to church on Sundays, and like a good Catholic person would, and pray that I would make it through the day, or I'd find what I needed. Or I'd pray for good things. But I'm going to go back to the year 2007 when my mom she got sick. She battled cancer. She had breast cancer. She battled that and won. And she had a triple bypass. Battled that and won. And then she had some other things go wrong with her life, health wise. And then she had melanoma. And she found out it was January 1st, 2006, that she found out she had melanoma. It was the first day of the year. And I remember me and my wife trucking back and forth to the hospital every day to get her blood checked. Every day. Every day, sometimes twice a day, and to get what she needed. And she wasn't in pain. She just thought it was a pain in the butt, And I can't blame her, But there was a whole year there that we lost somewhere. Yeah. And the kids lost out. We lost out on the kids. And I think if I was clean, I would have been able to handle it a little bit better. And there's probably some things I would have did different. But like I said, I can't go back in time right now. But I know she'd be proud today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Angels are rejoicing and all that stuff. And I know she'd be proud today. But I remember it was October 20th, 2007. And that's the day she passed away. It was a beautiful day. And I remember she battled that whole year all the way through. And she got she had her gallbladder removed. She had her spleen removed. She had all these things done to her. And I remember her laying in that ICU bed. And, your mom never tells you it hurts. When she looked at me with those puppy dog eyes and says, it hurts, I knew I lost it then. And And I did whatever I could at that time, and I was using still, but not a lot. But I did whatever I could to get her better, to get her down to my sister's house.
Yeah.
And because that's where she wanted to be when she passed away, and she knew that she was ready to. She said, David, I wish there was a pill I could take and just go away." I says, "Unfortunately, there's not, you know." And I remember going to the church. It was the Wednesday before the 20th. The 20th was a Saturday. I remember going to the church, and here we go again. I prayed to Jesus, and I prayed to God that God would take her and make it go away. And God answered my prayers. And then I started going to church a little bit more, but I started using a little bit harder. And I started
harder meaning harder drugs or more often?
More often.
Okay.
Is that just to cope?
Just to cope, because she was my best friend. Mm-hmm. I can deal with it a lot better now, being clean. But she was my best friend, and when you lose your best friend, it hurts. Yeah. It hurts. My daughter. I mean, my daughters didn't get a chance to say goodbye to her, and some weird stuff has happened since she passed on, and and I think it's her watching over them, mm-hmm. or something, angels, something. I've had a really weird journey, and there's some things you can't describe in life. And those are some of them, but I totally believe, there's another force out there.
Oh yeah.
And so it's she passes away, and then I start using harder, and it was the last couple of years that I saw myself spiraling down, just spiraling, saying I'll never be that person. I'll never be that person. I'll never be that person. Guess what? I was that person. Yeah. I noticed when, people weren't asking me to come over and hang out with them and do these things because, I was lying. I was doing whatever I could, manipulating people. Whatever you had, I wanted it, and I wanted to take whatever it was from you, mm-hmm. and didn't care about it. I was, how Mac puts it, on the accuser side.
Yep.
I was all on his side. I had the big A on my shirt. I was on the wrong side, and it's difficult to see that in a person like me who is such a good person. And I know this. Mm-hmm. I know this because I've seen this good person come out of me before, and I just that accuser.
It's hard to see it though when you're in it.
No, you're right.
And it takes sometimes a couple of years before you can actually see things clearly.
Well, and one of the fallacies of the liberal media and what it did to our generation, and you're younger. You're how old?
I'm 50 years old.
Oh, okay. We're all the same.
Yeah.
Annie, you're much younger.
Yeah.
But
she's just a kid.
You remember growing up with cartoons, Annie, where the good angel would be on this shoulder and the bad angel. Or the bad. See, that's not real.
No.
There's God, which is the light, and anything that is not in the light is in the darkness, and that's the accuser. We're not in the middle. Mm-mm. We're not being tugged back and forth, good to evil. We're either in the light of God, saved by the blood of Jesus, sanctified by the word and the gospels, or we're living the accuser's life. Now, you and I are still living the life of the accuser, David.
Yes, we are.
But it's only this much. And sometimes it's a little more.
Yeah, it depends what day it is.
Right. But before it was a little bit for Jesus and everything else for the accuser.
Exactly.
Right? And I don't know if I don't want to speak for you in your life, but that's why Dave and I love each other and we bonded so well because we lived this denial. There are rivers by the name of denial.
Yes, and we were flowing in them.
And we were flowing in them because we thought we were good people. We thought we were good fathers. We thought we were good husbands. And we were the schmucks of the earth.
Yeah, we just didn't know what good really was.
Yeah.
And until you know what good is, it's hard to distinguish between good and bad. And for me, I know I was a good person, and just getting that good person out. Because I've seen glimpses of it, and people have seen glimpses of it, and they tell me, you are a good person, but it's that big but.
Yeah.
And but you need to do this, and I didn't really listen to nobody. I wish there was somebody there who would showed me a better path, I didn't have.
May not have listened though. Sometimes it just takes.
Right, and you're right. May not have listened. Maybe that person was there. I just didn't listen to him.
Yeah.
Maybe that person was my mom. Because after my dad died, she had relationships, but not a man figure. I think we called her the Black Widow because every man that she ended up dating, they ended up passing away. Oh. But I know she was a good person. I know she believed in God, and she lived a remarkable life, and she even said that.
Yeah.
But
I think it's hard for us to see. We attract what we are, and so you said that you were attracting the wrong kind of person,
right? And
so you try to find good in that, and we can always measure against those kind of people. Like right. I'm better than they are.
Yeah, I'm better than they are. Look at that guy. He's got yeah. And that's what kind of people I hung around with because I didn't realize that I knew there were better people. I just chose myself. I chose because they had something I needed.
See, I didn't even know there were better people. I thought I was as good as I was an arrogant, pompous snob. I was the best kind of person that there could be. I went to church. I raised my kids in church. I always paid my taxes, never cheated on my taxes. Even got, what do they call that? The audited ones. The IRS owed me $12.47. Not a big deal, but so I was an excellent person. And little did I know, I was only excellent in the eyes of the accuser. In the eyes of God, I was a sad moron. I mean, I really was ignorant. All right, we're going to have some fun here. Alexis, you ready? During the break, we're going to change seats, and Alexis is going to come on, and we're going to talk about the difference.
She could do this.
In her daddy. Of course she can. She's going to talk about the difference in her daddy. This is Recovery Monday from Powell CDC. Annie's here. Lila's here. Bob's here. Ryan's producing. And I'm J. Michael McKoy. If I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. I love this job, and I couldn't do it without you. Right here on 99.3 KTIA, powered by webcast1live.com.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leech, owner and general manager of Service Legends. I brought along a couple of the home comfort heroes.
Hi, I'm Tammy Wells.
I am Nick Wondershide.
I'm administrative mmanager.
I am the senior technician
from Service Legends.
It seems like every good thing, when you feel it to the bone that it's good, there's a lot of hard work put behind it. I don't think that you can fake it and have it turn out good.
If we seem like, okay, that's just weird, it's just a furnace, why would you believe so deeply in a furnace? It's not just that, we want to show the world that you can have good service.
Yeah, it's gotta be, it's your home.
It's built into our daily trainings, it's built into our culture, that we're gonna do whatever it takes to have each client say they love us, period.
That's why we spend all the hours in the training that we do. And if we guarantee it's gonna be a good experience for you, or else it's free, what type of work do you think we're gonna do?
There is a guarantee.
Temperature selection guarantee, fixed right or it's free guarantee, comfort guarantee, best value guarantee. All of these guarantees hold us accountable to ensuring that we exceed your expectations. And if for whatever reason we'd fail and we can't make it right, we guarantee all of those guarantees with a 100% money back guarantee.
If you don't think that your technician can fix it right, are you gonna say that to a client? No.
You don't have to worry about having a technician come to your house.
We drug test, background check all of our team members. We put safe people in your home. Each and every one of our service techs, 400 hours a year in training.
You tell it the minute they walk in the door. They know what they're doing, they've done their homework, and they actually truly care about what you want.
Because at the end of the day, you're the person that makes sure I have a job.
They're gonna be listening. They're gonna wanna know what your challenges are. Then they're gonna come and give you options, and you get to choose.
If I'm there to help and I make it easy and painless, I did my job right that day.
Well, when it comes to your comfort, safety, and your family, you don't necessarily go buy the most expensive, but you get the most bang for your buck.
Oh, it's worth it, because there's a lot of people that will find a way to get it to work right now and then leave and then come back, charge you again, and the cycle just repeats itself. So when I'm out there looking at the furnace, I want to find why it failed today. How can we change the part today with something that you're not going to have to worry about? Is it worth changing the part today? You can put a lot of money into a furnace. I can fix parts all day. There's good job security in that for me. But is it the right thing for you?
I get a lot of the phone calls of after the technicians are there. They're just in awe. They're like, wow, you guys are great. I don't even know what to say. You guys are great. Everything you did was perfect. It was great.
Keep going, though. I like this.
Just give us a try. I'm going to take all the risk.
I've got the time to make this right. I've got the support to make it right.
Just check us out.
And if you don't see the value in what we do,
I mean, fixed right or it's free or 100% money back.
enough said.
Okay, 22 before the top. Salem Radio Network News is coming up, and then Pastor Michael Mudloff. This is fun. This only happens in today's technology because there's a gentleman who joined the chat who is in a 12-step program.
Yeah, in a 12-step program
in Florida.
In Florida, yeah.
And you call him.
His name is Jilly, and he's from Philly. And Mike, I just want to say hello to you. And I hope you're doing fine in recovery, and God bless you.
Now,
and have a wonderful day.
Now, Jilly from Philly, it's 1-855-244-0077. Type that on the thing. I'd love to have him call in and have him hear that voice like you just said. I can't do that. All right, let's talk.
It's like this, Mac. Let me tell you how it goes.
Oh, okay. I'm not doing it right, am I? Okay. The beautiful young lady before you is Alexis, and Alexis is 15. She is an accomplished sophomore? Freshman at local high school here. And you were alive during your father's entire usage.
Yes.
Tell me, when was the moment, or when did you realize that your dad was messed up? That he wasn't just dad. This is why he acted the way he did.
Well, kind of my whole life, because I realized he wasn't really a dad. He kind of was like off somewhere else. He wasn't really there all the time. But when I really realized was last year when he told me he was leaving, and I really figured out why he was leaving.
And was he going to treatment?
Yes.
Okay. But he didn't tell you he was going to treatment?
Yes, he was, but somewhat. No.
So you kind of knew that something was wrong, but you didn't know exactly what it was?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. But so you knew it was treatment, even though he didn't say treatment.
Basically, yes.
Okay. And did you have skeptics? Or I'm sorry, were you skeptical? Were you cynical? Yeah, right. Okay, Dad. Just another line of baloney from you.
Yeah.
Okay. How many other times has he told you, I'm going to be okay, I'm going to figure this out, I'm going to be here for you, don't worry about it, I'm Jilly from Philly? No, not that.
Many times, I guess.
Okay. Now, you're the youngest of four? And did your older siblings, I mean, you're only 3 years younger than Carly. So did you and Carly ever talk about this messed up dude that you had for a dad?
Sometimes, yes. When there'd always be fights, we would always kind of talk about it.
The fights between mom and dad?
Mom and dad, yes.
And what was mom's usual position?
I don't know.
I mean, she was right, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she was right. And Dad was manipulating, lying, doing what he had to do to be drugging and using.
Yes.
And you girls were caught in the middle because you listened to it over and over and over.
Yes.
So your dad was gone for how long? 30 days?
Yes.
During that time, tell me about home. You and your mom and your sister.
Well, it's kind of... I guess it was kind of uplifting that he wasn't there anymore because there wasn't all this drama and like fighting happening.
Okay. Did you hear from him while he was gone?
Yes.
Okay. And did you hear a difference when you talked to him on the phone while he was gone?
Yes. He sounded more happier.
He sounded happier.
Did they have a family week where your dad went to treatment, where the whole family went down?
Yes, but we didn't go down. Only my brother went there to visit.
Oh, because he lived in
Florida.
In Florida,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So you talked to your dad on the phone, and you were optimistic because you were hearing good things, but deep inside,
I didn't really know what was happening.
But did you have a little faith that something might be happening good?
Yes.
Okay. And so tell me about that day when Dad came home from treatment.
He was happy and he had a smile on his face, and we were all happy. And
he didn't have a smile on his face usually before treatment?
Not all the time.
Was he mad? Was he an angry dad? Was he a sad dad? Was he a mean dad? Was he a funny dad?
Angry.
Angry. At your mother?
Yes.
At you?
Sometimes.
Okay.
That is so weird because I just met him a month ago, I guess, or a couple weeks ago.
Can you imagine him upset or
no,
mad? No,
I can't. He is so up.
He's like this jolly time popcorn guy. He's just always
I
happy.
know.
So tell me the time or the experience or the moment in which you thought to yourself, oh my heavens, this dad's different than the old dad.
A couple weeks after he came back.
Tell me about that experience.
Well, he was around more often, and we actually hung out more, and we did stuff together, and was just happy.
So that's what you were longing for. You needed time with your father.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just gotten better, right?
Yes.
What are some dreams that you have now for your life or for you and your dad that you would have never had before because it just wasn't possible with that dad? And you're hanging out together.
Yes.
You're doing stuff.
Yes.
You've helped him start a 12-step program at church.
Yes.
And you probably never thought that was going to happen.
No.
What do you say to other kids out there who are struggling with a parent or a sibling, an aunt or uncle, a pastor, a teacher, but mostly a parent who your dad's story so much sounds like their dad or mom, and your story before he got sober sounds so much like yours?
To just have hope that things will be better and that they will be better and you can be happy again.
And what would you say to your father if he said, you know, Alexis, I've been sober a year now, and I think I can handle this. I'm going to start having a few beers here and there, and I may smoke a doobie, may not, but is that okay with you, Alexis? He says.
I'd be mad.
Okay, and what would you say to him?
I'd say you shouldn't do it because you've gone so far and you don't want to ruin it by going back to where you were before.
How has this impacted relationships you have with other kids? I mean, do you look at boys that act like your dad used to act and know that that's not the kind of guy you want as a best friend?
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't mean to put you on the spot, but are you going to date guys that use drugs or drink too much?
Probably not.
Okay, and you certainly are not going to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm certainly not.
No, you're not going to do that.
We're going to come back in a couple of years and ask you this. Same thing.
She'll be homecoming queen, without a doubt. Look at your father and tell him what you want to say to him.
I'm very proud of you and how far you've gone. And I just want you to keep doing what you're doing.
You're awesome. I love you.
You're a
Love
great
you too.
kid. You're a great kid.
He's awesome.
All right, we're going to take our next break, and we're going to come back. And when we come back, Dave is going to have 8 minutes to tell. Now, we know he was great because he got sober and he got clean. It was 365 days ago today. 1 year's a big deal in recovery, guys. What's the big deal? 24 hours, 1 month, and then 1 year? Or is it every month until you hit a year?
I've just seen, actually, in the last year or so, where they're making a bigger deal out of every month, but it used to be just 1 month and then your first 30 days and then 90 days and then a year.
Yeah, especially if you do the 90 and 90.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but somewhere when the drugs were gone and the alcohol was gone and Alexis got dad back and the wife got her husband back, somebody new moved into the house. Because one day Jesus came along and mugged David, Pastwa, and life changed. That's the story we'll hear next about how Jesus came into his life and just added this incredible blanket of salvation and grace to this entire family of beautiful people. Lila Stafford is here from Powell CDC, along with Annie Malden, and Ryan Northfield is producing. Bob Montserrat watching the chat, and I'm J. Michael McKoy. If I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. Love this job. Couldn't do it without you. Right here on Recovery Monday, live on KTIA, powered by webcast1live.com.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Whether you're 10, 25, 50, 80 years old and beyond, everyone needs to live within their means. I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America. For almost a quarter of a century, we've helped people of all ages learn to manage their personal finances to benefit them far into the future. When problems arise, we've got the experience you need to make those debt problems go away. Got financial problems? Call Consumer Credit of America.
Get away from us, you mean old credit card. We don't have any more money. We're in trouble now. Save us! Help! Somebody save us! Somebody help! Help! Save us!
Hi, I'm Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. If your credit card's a little too animated, give us a call.
Hooray! We're saved! Consumer Credit! You're our hero!
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
If you choose to obey the power of sin, it leads to death. If you choose to obey obedience, it leads to righteousness.
Forgiveness is just the beginning of life in Christ. God wants us to live for Him now.
And because of Jesus Christ, the gospel was preached, and you and I are blessed today because of Abraham. Did you know that? We're blessed.
Experience Truth, 99.3 FM.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
For those of you that love contemporary Christian music, you know this song in the back. It's my song, it's David's song, it's Lila's song, it's Annie's song, it's all of our songs. It's Big Daddy Weave and Redeemed. And if you've never heard it, I would strongly encourage you to go to your YouTube channel. And I don't know about the video, just listen to the words. And it will be every person's story who, it doesn't have anything to do with drugs and alcohol. It has to do with finally finding that place in your heart that you can push the accuser, push the darkness, push enough of yourself out to allow Jesus to come in, because he's always there and he's always looking for you. And he'll find you whether you want to be found or not. But at some point, he does give you opportunity to kind of open up that space, to push the darkness out. We call it surrender, which as kids, of course, we're taught is bad. But in the world of finding your creator and putting them in charge of your life, their will, not yours, it's called surrender. Dave, at what point did the God of my understanding, which is the term used in 12-step programs...
You mean Jesus?
Become Jesus.
You mean Jesus?
Yeah.
I love Jesus. I want to tell you, Mac, it was the second week I was in recovery. I was going... the first day was the 28th, 29th. I was in a detox center, and I really didn't get no rest the first week. And then there was a girl in recovery with me, and I can just say her first name is Brittany. And she goes, "Hey, Dave, you need to go to this church with me." And she goes, "I've been there a couple times already, and you'll get something good out of it." And I was like, "And can I say the church's name?"
Sure.
It's Coastal Life Church in Jupiter, Florida, and that place right there, I walked in and I listened to church in a different way at this time. The worship was a little bit different, loud music, and the message, that the message was a good message. It was about I didn't have to live this way anymore. I didn't have to be I didn't have to be in bondage anymore. I had something better. There was something better in life, and it was Jesus. And so at the end of this,
you're a Catholic boy. You heard about Jesus all your life. He was the dude hanging on the cross.
Yeah, this Jesus didn't hang on no cross. This Jesus didn't hang on no cross in this place. This Jesus came in the form of a big biker dude with tattoos all up and down his arms and a big cross shirt and burly beard, and gave me a big hug after church, and he was praying for me. And I cried, and I remember, and he hugged me so tight. It was a hug that it wasn't a normal hug. And then, they said, take that Bible with you. And I said, okay, I'll take it with me. And I read a little bit, and I pushed stuff aside. I went to church next week, and I liked it again. And, I got me some Jesus. And then again, and then I came back home here, and I started feeling something different. And the difference was that I was clean. I wasn't dirty no more. I was a reborn person. I joined the church where I live, out west, and they offered a class. I took the class. And
is that Alpha?
Yeah, Alpha class. And then they asked if we wanted to be baptized at the end of the class. And I remember that day. It was March 17th. It was March 17th, 2013. And they said full immersion or just your head wet. I'm like, I'm wearing my bathing suit. I'm going for a swim. And I remember that pastor. And I don't know if I can say his name, but yeah, Pastor Jeremy. He gave me a little bit of guff about the shorts I had on, and it was like when he dunked my head backwards, and I came out, and it was like this whole light, and I was staring at the light, and water draping off of my face. I felt like everything was washed away. Oh. I didn't have nothing to worry about anymore. That I found something different in life, and I didn't have to live that way I was living before. And this was after I stopped using. But I realized that there's something better, and it's so much better. And once you find this, and once you embrace it, I joined a couple of men's groups, and that is good. And I think the balance that I have in my life is fantastic. I'm in 12-step study, and I'm in Celebrate Recovery, which it's a spiritual balance for me. I'm no longer that and one of my friends used this analogy, a waitress with plates in both hands, balancing them and running and trying to catch it. I'm no longer that person. I got balance. I can carry 2 trays at one time. And they can be full of plates. I've got some balance in my life. I've got some really good things going on in my life. I'm a productive member of society. I'm no longer unemployable because I have a job. My life is not full of destruction anymore. It's full of production. Everything I do has a purpose. My daughter's here with me. That dad that she was missing is right here. I try to live by example. I want my children to understand that there's a better purpose in life. Life is good when you have money and everything else, but when you don't have those things, what do you have? For me, I've got this thing, and it's this glow, this jump in my step, and all my friends who are out there, they know that I always yell out Jesus all the time, and when I'm walking down the halls, and that's how they identify me, and it's pretty cool that I put God first in my life, and when I did that, man, everything got real easy. I no longer have to struggle with drugs and alcohol. I don't have that struggle. There's no need. I don't have that want for that anymore. The struggle that I have is just life in general. You can lose things and gain things. You're going to have bills. You're going to have problems. Things break. Relationships get hurt. I'm no longer a mean person. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I correct people when they get angry. And I thought, where the heck did that come from? Where the heck did that come from, Alexis? I don't know. You know, I live by different rules now, and I try to be an example to others that living a clean life is a better life. And I try to help others that are in recovery, people who are struggling, who are broken, and they need some help in their life. And I want to be that light there for them. I want to be able to grab them and say, you don't have to do this no more. I don't want to shake them. I just want to tell them you don't have to do this no more. I want to tell them nice and quietly, say, you don't have to live that life no more. It's so much better.
Dave, congratulations on day 365.
Thank you, Mac.
And I have a gift I want to give you.
You're awesome.
This was my 1-year chip.
What?
And I want to give it to you.
I'm going to take it.
I went to 3 chip meetings when I first got sober, and one of my chips is right here in my book. The other one I gave to my wife, and I've been holding that for somebody special, and I didn't know what his name was, and I want to give it to you. And if you get more of those, maybe you'll pass that one on to Alexis, so she can. You
know, she could carry 14 of those right now because she ain't ever touched a lick of alcohol or drugs her whole life. And you know what? At her age, I already started using.
Dave, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mac.
I love you,
I
brother.
love you too, brother.
Thanks for being here, and thanks for being a part of this day, day 366, for Dave Pastwa and Jesus.